When it comes to Pokemon collecting, most people think plushies, binders, graded cards, but what if I told you I've spent the last 10 years building something completely different? Behind me are over 20 display cases filled with over 100 resin statues, building what feels like a museum, capturing some of the most iconic moments in history of Pokemon. In today's video, you're gonna see them all. I'm also doing two different giveaways. The first is this quiet custom metallic extended art display case featuring the promo Lucario V-Star from the Crown Zenith ETB. And for the second giveaway, I'll be purchasing a digital or physical copy of the brand new upcoming Pokemon Legends ZA. For the first giveaway winner, I'll be randomly selecting a comment within the first 24 hours of the video's release and pinning it to the top of the video. The second winner will be selected 1 week before the release of ZA, and I'll replace that randomly selected comment with a new one. It has been over 4 years since I've updated everyone on my Pokemon collection growth, and wow, has it changed. These epic display cases you see right here are made by a company called Maju Space, or originally a Maju Case, and I think I had 6 the last time I made a video, and now things are at 20. For those that may have never seen these before, these are custom resin statues. A very small amount are made in the world, maybe under 200 for each run. And kicking things off, this is Egg Studio Giovanni. He's a part of their trainer series, so you'll see a lot of Pokemon featured both in the anime and in the game. Down here you can see his Dugtrio. Look at the derpy one on the right. I love mixing up both cards and statues, so here's my Hidden Fates Giovanni's Exile, one of my favorite sets of all time. PPAP Studios Weezing, these are a chibi style. And then we have some custom Pokeballs here, themed after Team Rocket. Got that Master Ball sitting up top. Slide on over, we have a Jesse and James statue filled with a bunch of Pokemon from their teams. A lot of fun Easter eggs in this statue that you can't see them all from here. There's actually a deflated Meowth balloon in the backside, but some wanted posters hanging around. Meowth looking all super sassy, got some debris and rubble hanging over, and my Hidden Fates Jesse and James card. Continuing with the trainer series, we have the Elite Four Agatha, a crazy ghost type statue. We can see some skulls of Charmander, Mewtwo, some other starters there. But what's neat about this statue is the purple clear resin forms this like hand where everybody sits on top of. It's crazy cool how they brought this one to life. Like Agatha is not that hard of a character, and they did so good to make this menacing. Over here we have Ash from the main anime series. I say main, but it's just the one that I originally grew up with, but a fun nod towards a bunch of characters. Squirtle with his sunglasses, got Krabby down here. Moving up, we have Bulbasaur, his Butterfree with the scarf. And of course, we have his strong but very rebellious Charizard hanging behind him. To his right is going to be Misty. Got a bunch of Pokemon represented here. A very nice statue where there's a lot of clear water, and that LED behind her looks great. Look at Togepi held in her arms, and a menacing looking Gyarados behind. And down below, we'll see that chibi Onix made by PPAP Studio to accent this Brock statue on the right. A lot of fun Pokemon. You'll notice above is going to be a Steelix instead of an Onix, which he evolved it into in Season 9, and they had an option where you could have him on top of Onix. I decided not to go with it because I was hoping they would make an Elite Four Bruno, and he'll have an Onix represented there in my collection. Here's a mini Rhydon. And down below, we'll transition to the Pokemon Evolution family sets. We got Primeape and Mankey. Got a nod towards Ash with that cap on the Primeape. We have Rapidash and Ponyta. A fantastic blend of clear and painted resin. Down here, we have the chibi version of Machamp to accent this left statue of the Machop Machoke family. You can see them inside of a gym and some rocky rubble. You can see some clear resin fists behind him, so using some kind of ability. Over here we have the Dratini line statue, a very pretty one. I love the lighthouse look, a nod towards this series. And also we have the special delivery version of Dragonite where he's got the letters and the pouch hanging off of him. And while I do love a cute and silly Dragonite, here is a fierce, intense one below. And directly to the left is the Growlithe and Arcanine statue. It's nice we get 2 Growliths in this one. We will see him pop up later again in another trainer series statue. Somebody will actually be riding him. On the back here, we have Kadabra and Alakazam, a fun statue where, you can see Alakazam kind of floating on that purple resin in the back. Of course, he's got some spoons. And directly to the left is going to be a chibi Aerodactyl. We're going to transition into one of my favorite statues ever made. Ooh, hope to get a graded version of that card eventually. But this one right here is one of my favorite statues they ever did. They balanced 5 of the fossil type Pokemon. You can see a Pikachu skeleton mixed in there, but 5 Pokemon in one. Just love the overall balance of everything in this one. It's so nice. And they also made an accenting statue of Mega Aerodactyl that can be displayed in the back with what looks to be like a hyper beam shooting out of him. The studios didn't make many Mega Evolutions, so nice to have one. Over to my left, you'll see the Evolution for Gengar statue. I love this combination of both the Chibi, the custom Pokeball, and then the graded slab. I have a nice little purple graded guard around it. And then up to the Evolution statue of Gengar. Not every Evolution series got this kind of treatment, but for those that did, I love to create this kind of quad setup, having all these accent each other. Over here to the Pikachu and Raichu one. A silly Raichu chewing his tail over here with the brilliant stars, Raichu V. And then we have the Evolution family over here. We can see the Thunderstone sitting there in the center as well. And they threw in a random Magnemite. To the left is my Master Ball Mewtwo in the graded guard Nebula. Pulled that one from my 151. The only Japanese booster box to ever open. The custom Pokeball, as well as the Chibi Mewtwo. Probably one of the coolest looking Chibis I think they ever made. Up here is Mewtwo with his Mega Evolutions, X and Y. Part of me wanted to put that one with Giovanni, but I'm going to keep it over here because it has those 4 different pieces that bring it to life and match the others. Down below, we have the Kanto starters with Venusaur, Chibi down here. Another really good one. And then we have the 151 full art card. And a 10, the Venusaur ball. And moving up to the Evolution family up here. A nice, fun, and bright, vibrant scene. I love the green. It adds a different color to the collection and the display wall. Venusaur busting out the Solar Beam, and on his right side is going to be a Blastoise. There's the full art card from 151. The Chibi down here, a really good one. And the Blastoise Pokeball has got to be one of the best they came out with. On the Evolution statue, you will see the Squirtle Squad Squirtle. I swear, we can't get a normal Squirtle in the statues. They always got to throw the glasses on there. Got him using some Hydro Pump. And over to the Charizard family. An epic statue, but I will tell you, I'm a big man Blastoise boy because growing up, my brother and I got both red and blue, and of course, he took red, so I got stuck with blue and don't regret it for a moment. Moving on to the right case, we'll see the beginning of the Gigantamax series line, easily one of my top lines they've come out with. On the bottom, we have a lowland form of Raichu, joined by the regular form of Raichu. On the right, you'll see Pichu, Pikachus, all sorts of fun nods to the Pikachu line. One thing I love most is from a distance, it almost looks like a life-size Pikachu in the display case, but once you get closer, you can see all the different forms and versions that they're able to fit in here, both like male and female versions of the Pikachus as well. And in the graded guard voltage case, you'll find the full art version taken from the set Vivid Voltage of the G-Max Pikachu. That was a mouthful, but here's the Eevee G-Max statue, which has all forms of Eevee scattered all throughout. Some of them looking nice and cute. You got a Metapod stuck in there. Got Leafeon over here, Flareon chilling on the side, Umbreon up top. And yeah, some of them are looking super cute. Some of them are just chill. Some of them looking fierce. And Eevee on top looking super fierce. Overall, this statue is just more proof that PPAP Studios' G-Max series line is just one of the best that they've come out with so far. Charizard's coming out soon, and I hope they make a Blastoise and Venusaur. We have that promo Eevee card with the extended art case. I think this one's by GeekStop. And oof, transitioning to the Mega Gengar. Hope you all were able to land and secure some Phantasmal Flames pre-orders. Thankfully, I was able to get a Pokemon Center ETB, and looking forward to that set when it comes out. I love this statue. Just brings to life the alt art card they came out with so well. That's one card I'd love to own someday. But for now, we do have the PSA 9 version of this one, just chilling over here. And behind him, we have the G-Max Snorlax. We can see Munchlax over there as well. Unfortunately for this one, I don't have a card because I had one sent away for grading that I'm hoping will land a 10 that'll get displayed over here. For now, we have the custom Resin Pokeball. To the right of this, you'll see some slabs mounted on the wall. My favorite game ever is Pokémon Legends Arceus, and this is going to bring to life a lot of those characters and Pokemon you uniquely see in there, the Hisui forms. Here's a lot of the villagers. After these, you'll find all the gold cards like Jubilee Village, Temple of Sinnoh, all 4 legendaries together. At the top, we'll find the clans mixed with the main characters you played in the game. You got Irida, Adamant, and their respective evolutions that they used. Over to the left, I started 3D printing, so here are some PLA or plastic Pokeballs. The ones we've seen up to date have been resin. All these right here are made of plastic. They're really, really cool, fun to print, and here's all these Legends Arceus Pokeballs. Got the regular, great, ultra. And there's a feather ball. We have the heavy one on the left there. And they just came out with the origin ball here. Excited about that one. Master Ball also printed one recently. And this one is a resin of a Dragonite. He is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Below the family G-Max statues, I forgot to mention I have a shiny G-Max collection growing. We have Gengar going on over here. Nice looking. We had a little effect in the front there. Over here we have a Charizard X Pokeball as well as the Chibi. In the center we have G-Max shiny Charizard looking glorious back there. And then obviously over here on the left we have Charizard Y.
I do have a shiny G-Max Blastoise on the way, so look forward to adding him to the collection. Now on my left is a series that is widely known called Scale World. Before I explain that, look inside this Pokemon. You can see all sorts of crazy cool details like the clerk, a bunch of goods you can buy, the register over there. So really detailed, usually has a light inside, but I haven't plugged this one in yet. So when it comes to Scale World, everything is scaled accordingly to their Pokedex size and down to 120, the size of that scale. This bottom section here is the beginning of my Kanto 120 collection. Inside there you can see Nurse Joy, Chansey, you can see the PC back in the corner, all sorts of fun details if you were to open up the top there. But scattered all throughout are going to be a bunch of Kanto region Pokemon, a few shinies here, where I'm going to be growing, so hopefully have all 151 captured in not just one row, because it's probably going to take about 2 or 3. Got the bug type family sitting back there, kind of a nod to Viridian Forest. This style first started with Bandai. They make some PVC versions of these. Unfortunately, a lot less detailed because they are a lot cheaper and mass produced. These are all made of resin for the most part, and because of that, they have a lot of custom details, and also with that comes a much higher price tag. But I'm looking forward to representing all of Kanto sometime in the future. I already have a decent amount represented, but I'm slowly growing this over time because I don't want to break the bank too much, and I love the larger scaled statues more. While I've collected a decent amount for these so far, I will say that my Kanto 120 collection is actually kind of a side project because I have a more bigger main project going on when it comes to the 120 scale. And that big project is going to be collecting all 242 Pokemon from the Hisui region for my favorite game of all time, Pokémon Legends Arceus. I've heard it Arceus as well. You can let me know in the comments which one is correct. But here is a Wurmple compared to a Giratina in 120 scale, so crazy the size difference for those. And at the centerpiece of this top portion, you'll find the creation trio of Giratina, Dialga, and Palkia. As of right now, I am trying to pack as many in as possible, still while trying to balance them and spread them out so you can enjoy each one of them represented. I have over 50% collected so far, but the goal is eventually going to be to have a separate display case where I can build a diorama and bring to life some of the different scenes and environments that we see in the Hisui region. While I'm looking forward to seeing what Pokemon ZA does have to offer, I will admit I feel like they've been taking steps backward since the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus, but we'll see what they have. I'm trying to remain open-minded, but I definitely would love to see more styles of game like this. I think I saw a teaser, a fan-made one of somebody doing Johto as well. That'd be awesome to go back kind of earlier in time and experience these environments in the Pokemon world. A neat little Hisui Zoroark mask there. I tend to grab anything Hisui related that comes out from the Scale World series. We can see Irida over there with her Glaceon. Pretty neat. That's the only character I've seen made so far, but the official Bandai team is making some other characters like Volo, the main male and female character. In the back there, you can see a shiny Ponyta. That's the first shiny you ever encountered in the game. Well, the first static one, right? If you're lucky, you probably maybe encountered one before then. We can see little Teddy Ursa riding on top of Ursa Luna. This collection is going to be epic to assemble over time, but I will say it's very expensive. Some of these custom resin versions can run in the $50 to $60 range per set. Oh, poor Cricket Top back there fell over. I've been loving this idea that my buddy Jeff came up with to put some Pokemon on top of Pokemon using a blue tack. You can see the Magnemite and Magneton. Up here we have these legendaries in their more released forms. These are the Forces of Nature trio, and you'll notice the newest one, Enamorus, is missing. Thankfully, someone is making one, so it's just in production. On the second shelf moving below, we'll see the trio again here. But this time, all of them are going to be in their origin form, so much more menacing looking. You'll notice the late Guardians are spread all throughout Giratina. Again, taking that idea where I'm kind of mounting some of the Pokemon freely on some of the diorama pieces, while also some of the Pokemon as I see fit. And this Giratina came with a fun diorama scene where it almost looks like the Temple of Sinnoh. Over here we have Origin Form Palkia. I'm not sure how everybody feels about these. I actually loved these forms a lot. I know they were kind of controversial at first, but I think they're fantastic. I would have loved to have seen like an Origin Form Arceus. That would have been amazing for them to have done, but slight missed opportunity. Got that shiny Heracross in the back. The one thing I never understood about how the game was managed is why we never saw some DLC. For so many years, I was hoping we would see something, but unfortunately, nothing. We got that little expansion with the massive outbreaks or whatever, but definitely a missed opportunity. Would have loved to have seen it. That, we got Heatran, Cresselia, some other legendaries being presented here. Look how small little Shaman is. That is one of the most fun parts about collecting the 120 scale, is just to see everything all together and some of the sizes they actually are. Like over here, how is Golduck this large? It's crazy. Got the male and female Combi. But yeah, so neat to see them all together. I'm going to eventually look forward to building out those dioramas in the separate case. I'm going to have to find someone to help me out with that because I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle certain things. Like even the front gate of Jubilite Village, I'd love to have that built. So I'm going to have to ask some friends or some talent online to bring that to life for me. Even with all these represented, I'm still missing like 100 Pokemon from that Pokedex, so looking forward to filling that out over time. I do have quite a bit on pre-order, so I can't wait to have some of those come in. Like specifically, I remember Hisui Lilligant is on order, so that's a new one. And this is one of my favorite Resin statues of all time right here, Origin Form Dialga. Such an epic statue. Love how he has the front feet up in the air, and that stand helps him to accomplish that. But there's everything on the second row, and there is a third row. We have this huge wall of unknown. When this set came out, I was so relieved because I was thinking, how am I going to represent all of the unknown with it looking decent? You know, maybe they're going to be on little tiny stands or something. But this baked-in temple-type diorama really did the job. Got some legendary representation with the Regigigas back there. Got a new Regigigas coming that lights up, so that's going to be a fun one. And you'll notice Pokemon like Rhyhorn, Rhydon are still missing. Again, those are some that are on pre-order. And then over here, we'll see the fossil representation, as well as some of the link trade duos like the Machop and Geodude family sitting over here. I still need to get a Gengar family or the Ghastly family represented. And we have the other fossils over here, Cranidos, Rampardos. And we got good old Toxicroak and Krogunk. And then over to my left is a special set I'm building, which is going to be some of the shiny legendaries. In my time playing Pokemon, I've only ever shiny hunted full odds one Pokemon, and that is going to be Arceus. I did so in Brilliant Diamond. It was brutal, but I did it and was able to bring him over in to Legends Arceus and enjoy him in the main game because all the legendaries are shiny locked over there. So Darkrai as well. Thank you to a buddy who sent me over that one, Kristen. If you have any 120 for sale that you know I'm missing, definitely hit me up looking to fill out that Pokedex. And over here, if you look, you'll find the Ultra Ball, Great Ball, and Pokeball. And then there's Egg Studios' Champion Ash statue. They managed to fit every single one of his Pokemon on here. Definitely one of my top favorites in the collection. I do wish Dragonite looked a little more fierce than Goofy. Gengar looks incredible, though. Over here, we have the trophy that came with it. You can put it anywhere you want or next to the statue. But here's a close-up of those Pokeballs I mentioned before. And next to him temporarily, because Leon is on the way, we have Gary Oak over here with a lot of his Pokemon, as we've seen in this series, and I believe the manga as well. I think the Umbreon is from there. So very cool that he packs so many in here, right? So many large ones with the Nidoking, Blastoise, Arcanine, and they all look incredibly well posed. Chibi Snorlax hanging over here. I thought him on a log looks great next to the log on Gary's statue, but here's a brand new line we'll jump into. This is the PPAP Studios legendary Pokemon line. The first in their series features Lugia and the legendary Kanto birds. We'll kick it off with the chibi-looking Lugia statue, which has somehow managed to make him look pretty cute. Now, Ho over here looks like straight out of Angry Birds. Still cute, but quite a round head. We have their classic cards on the right and left here. PSA 7 because the other one's a little bit too expensive for my taste. Zapdos, got Moltres, Lugia, Articuno. Now, the statue does light up as well. Unfortunately, I don't have the LEDs plugged in because it's quite a bit to rewire those. But then we have the legendary dogs over here mixed with Ho-Oh. We got some fun little Pokemon on here as well with the Slugma down there, the Unknown. And what I love most about these statues is they manage to balance all these legendaries on one statue while kind of still giving them their own little platform where you can enjoy their little showcase theme. Like, you know, we have the ice underneath Suicune, got Raiku's got some lightning underneath of him, and we have the chibi version of Groudon looking quite chubby over here, and there he is on the main statue. I gotta say, take me back to when legendaries were built like Kyogre and Groudon. Now we have Rayquaza as well, but think about it, the more recent legendaries, right, you give them a sandwich and they befriend you, while these guys are absolutely monstrous. The legendary dogs will have some chibi soon, but they're not released yet. Over to Gen 4 Sinnoh, one of my personal favorites, Giratina on the bottom over here, Palkia. Now they're all using some of their unique abilities as seen in the game. Got Roar of Time going over there by Dialga. Now the Arceus up top is great. They have all the plates surrounding him, all casted inside that yellow, clear looking resin. There's one more legendary statue made, which I'll show you later. On a top, we'll see a life-size Ditto just hanging out above my cases. And then we have some of the 3D printed versions of the Pokeballs. Kyogre looks great. Rayquaza looks good as well. And the bird trio does have some Pokeballs as well. These ones are made of resin by that studio, PPAP. And the case below our legendaries does have two different themes going on here. We're going to have a beach theme and a desert theme. So we'll kick it off down here with Ash's Greninja. And also, I don't know if beach is accurate, more so just watery themed statues. I had quite a few of them and they look great when you put them all together. So this is the Greninja family statue. You can see everybody together. That's great how they brought that to life. Gyarados over here with some Magikarp. Got one in the corner. You can see it's a shiny version of that Magikarp. This is one of the older egg type statues, so it does have a little base on the bottom. You can see it's got like a round base with the Pokemon symbol. Over here we have the Pidgey family statue. Not exactly water, but the bluish color of the clouds made it look nice together. The Lovebirds in chibi form. I've always wanted this card, but for now, we'll have to take the statue. Got a Pidgeot hanging out back there as well. And this is going to be that 5th legendary statue I mentioned before. A lot of other Pokemon baked into this one, but more importantly, Latios and Latios are chilling on the top of the statue. So this is a part of their legendary series line, technically, although we are looking forward to hopefully Gen 5 in the future where they'll make all of them. Chibi Lappers looking so cute with the beach ball, and over here we have the Slowpoke Pokeball. Wailord down here, chibi version, thankfully, because he is absolutely ginormous. The Golduck family statue, neat, where they have the water split, making it look like you have a portion of it underwater, while you have the one on top. You got this Psyduck over here drowning, what it looks to be, and this Psyduck just hanging out in a Golduck tube. Then we got the Poliwhirl family statue, another neat one by Egg Studio. And the last watery themed statue is Milotic over here in chibi form. Moving on to the desert themed diorama ones, we got Flygon Kimoho chilling over here. Then we got a dead Metagross, at least a fainted version of him down there for the Flygon statue above. You will notice a paint defect on his head. Unfortunately, when moving some statues, it fell off on the ground at one point, so that did chip a little bit. Over here we have the Tyranitar looking Pokeball with the sleeping Tyranitar with a graded guard around it. Chibi version of him as well. And then the Mega form chilling up top. One of the few statues, just like we saw with the Aerodactyl, that has a Mega form with it. Got the regular form of a Tyranitar and a Larvitar. You may have noticed Egg and Peepap definitely love their pseudo-legendary Pokemon, probably for popularity and how many units they might be able to sell. But Salamence coming in next with the Pokeball, the Chibi, and here is the family on top. I love how Bagon's just chilling on the top of his head there. And I know I had the alt art for Tyranitar before, but this is the typical style you've seen. I like to use the full art cards for those Pokemon. And then we have the Garchomp, a Pokeball. Love his chibi. Looks so great. And the full art card for him. And a PSA 10 with the Garchomp family scattered all throughout the statue. And then there's the random Diglett just chilling behind some of those cactus leaves there. A good nice shot of the Garchomp. Moving right below here, another pseudo-legendary with the Metagross line. A very different statue than we've seen before, with the more darker rock theme and some of the purple clear resin crystals and effects going on. A nice looking statue. This one came in a shiny form as well, for those that like that. The Pokeball is kind of crazy with all those legs popping out. Chansey Chibi looks so cute. And to the left, you can see the Jigglypuff Pokeball with that swirly hair on the front. Clefairy Clefable statue with the mythical Jirachi hanging around on top. Another statue that does light up. The moon lights up yellow, but unfortunately it's not plugged in. Dragapult looks incredible with the Chibi form. The Goodra family statue with the Chibi going on up front. Now this statue looks like it should be a part of like the Peepap egg line, but it is actually not. This is made by a random studio that I do forget their name, but it does mix well with these evolution type statues. I think so. And this was kind of a one-off made by Crescent Studios of Palkia versus Dialga. Got Darkrai hanging there. And we also have a Hisuian, Growlithe, and Zorua in the back that you can't see. But a neat statue, just two of my favorite legendaries. Do get it out. And then we got some starter Chibis mixed with some of the other ones. Got the Kanto starters playing a Game Boy, Heracross. Got a Gen 6 back here playing on a 3DS or DS. And then we have the Gen 5 over here doing the same. You can see Snivy holding that up for them to see. Crystal Onyx hanging out in the very back there. Chibi form is the one we saw like Brock. Blaziken chilling over here. Moving on to the Scyther family statue. Another one where we actually were able to get the Mega Scizor up top. This statue was made before Pokemon Legends Arceus, so unfortunately Kleavor didn't make it in there. Would love to see a statue with him baked in. Moving on to Lucario statue, the family version of that. You can see the Chibi on the left, Riolu on the bottom. Two different forms of Lucario with the Mega Lucario sitting on top. So lots of different abilities and Pokemon moves you can see used all throughout. The Chibi version there. And one of the last pseudo-legendary statues of Hydreigon over here, made by the same studio that made the Goodra family, so not Egg or Peepap, but definitely accents and looks nice with them. On to a new type of statues. This is made by Egg Studio and is their typing line, where you'll see all sorts of Pokemon in the Ice type family. Kicking off this first one here, Lapras, of course, being the centerpiece. The wide variety of Pokemon is indeed my favorite part. We can see the Ghost type statue going on here, some Duskull, Mimikyu over here. Up top, you got the Ghastly family going on, and even got a Hoot, even a Zubat sitting up top. Really, really fun overall, especially the haunted house theme going on in the back. Now, there's a lot of types in the Pokemon universe, so this line could be huge over time. Jumping over to the water type here, this one's going to be different, as well as the fire and grass, where you're going to see every single starter from Gen 1 through 9 scattered all throughout, with a few extra like that Shelter sitting there in the center. You'll notice similar engineering to the Psyduck statue, where Blastoise is half in the water, half out, as well as a bunch of stuff going on here. Look at that surfing Squirtle up top, Quaxly, Sobble sitting up there. A really neat statue, just how they all come together and flow onto the fire type, which is just pure fun. Not only do they have the fire type, but also have all these starters together, and they do so in such a fun and playful way, keeping also the Kanto starters, at least their final evolutions, at the focal point. I think it's such a wise thing to do. We got Venusaur over here, probably my favorite of the three seen so far. Looks like Snivy just hatched from an egg. Bulbasaur's drinking some water. What the heck is Turtwig doing up here? Again, these are purely just fun statues. I never thought I'd own one with every single starter up to the current generation. It's going to be in trouble when we do have Gen 10, though. I have those missing. But maybe they'll have like an add-on they can release to put with these statues. Now on to my favorite typing, which is the Dragon type family. Dragonite is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Dratini looking super cute, chilling on the rock. Meanwhile, you got Gible on the top rock looking like he is meditating. Got Swablu in the back looking cute. And as we move up towards the top of the statue, you'll see Dragonite. Unfortunately, kind of goofy, derpy again. I do wish for a more serious one. Goomy sitting on the back of him. And that's it for now for the typing. We do have two 120 scale statues from the final Masters 8 battle between Leon and Ash. You can see G-Max Charizard hanging out in the back, as well as Leon's full team. And Ash's looks amazing with that G-Max Gengar behind him. And you can even see Pikachu using the 10 million volt Thunderbolt. Taking a step back from my display cases, I do have some life-size Pokemon statues I begin to build up. You can easily see right off the bat, Dratini is my largest by far. This is made by All In Studio, and some of them are made by Egg as well, but made of pure resin, quite heavy and high quality. Froakie down here just chilling, and I will say a lot of the life-size statues are quite random, primarily because not a lot of people make them, so I grab whatever I can when I can. Diglett chilling down here. He's always on my floor somewhere in my collection room, but you can see this Pokeball that goes with the Squirtle on top. He's got his sunglasses from his Squirtle Squad days. And then there's Pikachu. This one actually has like a motion sensor where it can talk out loud, but I don't have that plugged in. Charmander looking cute as ever. And then Bulbasaur, gotta be one of my favorite looking ones that they brought to life. He's just so big with the bulb on the back and also the vines coming off the side. One day I'd love to have like a life-size Mewtwo, but maybe I'll dream and see. On top here, we'll see my setup for my Dialga Palkia and Arceus that's hiding my router, but we've got some fun little collectibles that bring that Funko collection to life. I'm not a huge Funko Pop fan, but I did love these giant ones that they made of these three. And this bookcase below is where I have a lot of my binders. I do collect a lot of master sets, but also have some personal collection items there. Backing up, you will see the Bricker Builds life-size Charmander. I believe this was made by Dave Holder with Eevee over to the right. Up top, there's a random Naruto I 3D printed, but these Lego models are incredible looking. So many pieces, I'll tell you that. Down here, you've probably never seen these before, are custom minifigures of characters from Pokemon. A super cool niche little collection you can have. You can see Ash as well as Red in the back there. And I got to shout out an artist, MWOAA Art on Instagram, made this crazy playmat with gens 1 through 4, all Pokemon in this little cute artistic style. You can see a close-up of some of the squares, how she brought them to life, but an amazing one. It was quite expensive, but totally worth it. This is where I sort all my cards and look at the collection sometimes. Here's the sitting Palkia and Dialga plushies, as well as the Pokemart and Poke Center. I did these mocks that I did on a website where you order the pieces and bring these to life. Super cool looking. And we are still not done. I have a few hidden areas around the room and some cases. On top of here is kind of like a holding tank where some of my newer 120 scaled Pokemon are chilling because I haven't had a chance to work them into the display case yet. Again, I have a huge plan for my Legends Arceus display. You can see the Arc phone sitting back there, as well as a graded copy in a 9.8 by CGC. But yeah, this is a holding tank where I put some Pokemon that I haven't worked into the display, but plan to in the near future. Most of these I just got in from some shipments. So again, just haven't had time to put them them in a permanent location, but look forward to in the future as I build out the 120 collection. Easily one of my favorite scaled Mewtwo's and Mews they've made so far is this one over here. Love the look on top of the like psychic energy on the bottom that brings those to life. And in some small module cases, I have a nod towards Gen 9. Definitely not my favorite gen, but some lovable Pokemon came out of it for me. Annihilate being one of the top ones there. And also Blood Moon Ursaluna is on top too. Let me tell you, I love this one that goes from each evolution line up to the very top with him. I'm still waiting for the games to release a shiny version of him, maybe someday. Roaring Moon over to the right looking super epic with those wings stretched out. Another peak design that I enjoyed from the series. And Great Tusk, and I enjoyed him as well. And we have a Cyclizar over here just hanging out. I call my Ursaluna in a Moonball, so I do have that right next to it as a nod to that. Moving on down, I'm a huge fan of the game of Pokemon Sleep, the mobile app. So this is a display that I'm beginning to build of sleeping 120 scale Pokemon. If you play, let me know in the comments below what your friend code is, and I'd love to add you in the game, but look forward to building this display because it's just such an enjoyable game. If you made it this far in the video and enjoyed yourself, do me a favor, let me know in the comments as well as leave a like on the video. That helps. And I hope you enjoyed the showcase of the 2025 Pokemon Collection Room Tour. Can't wait to see how this evolves, pun intended, over time. And I'll see you in the next video. Do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.